And a touchdown for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats.
Hey all, Rick here from Hamilton Sports Central, and we are previewing tomorrow's regular season game. This is game number 7 for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats, and we'll be doing a live watch along. So we're going to go over the Tiger-Cats roster, we're going to go over the Montreal roster, and we're going to go over the news and notes for the Montreal versus Hamilton game. You have at boundary side on the offense, you have Kenny Lawler with Trevor Reed, who I thought was going to be on the 6th game, but he's back this week. With Revenberg at left guard, Dobson and Liam Dobson and Chris Kolinkowski at center, Nathaniel Dumoulin-Duguay at right guard with Swartout as right tackle, as Quentin Barrow is now on the 6th game. To the right of them, we have Wheatfall and Middlemost. And in the next line back, we have Keandre Smith and Isaiah Wooden Sr. as slotbacks. Fullbacks, we have Milanovic Litre, Max Mang, and Daniel Bell. Quarterbacks, we have Trey Ford, Jake Dolegala, and Harrison Frost. Running backs, we have Larry Roundtree III and Johnny Augustine. Slot back is Curly Gittins Jr., and the other slot back is Myron Mitchell. Kicker is Mark Leggio, long snapper Gordon White, punter Mitch McCarthy, and kick returner and punt returner is Wooden Sr. On defense, on boundary side, moving left to right, we have Julian Hauser and Ajude. Miles Fox as defensive tackle, and we have number 63 in case anyone gets injured, he can go play on the offensive line. Mario Kendricks, and DeBear as the other defense tackle. Philip Osai, Bagna, and Hubert as the field side defensive end. Linebackers are Crook and Gagnon at weak side linebacker. Middle linebacker, you have Ryan Baker and Winton McManus. Sam linebacker is Reggie Stubblefield. And then secondary is Jamal Peters, Destin Talbert, Stavros Katratonis, and Robert Panabaker, who's a game-time decision. Bynum and Horrell as the halfbacks on the field side, and then Walton and Hayes on the field side corner. For the Alouettes on the boundary side, same left to right. Speaker and Hollins at receiver. Offensive tackle, you have Collender. Left guard, you have Lestage and Dockstader. Center, you have Sendon and Knoll. Ventrelli at right guard. Sanks at right tackle. Phil Pont at the field side wide receiver, who's going to be going up against Walton and Hayes. Behind that row, you have Sneed and making his CFL return to the lineup, Dedman for the returner for Montreal. Travis Thice and Baker. Must be a new running back. Davis Alexander, Justin Crum, and Wilson. And then you have Mason, Kapsu, Dubois, and Ferdinand at receiver and fullback. Maltos Diaz as kicker, Zima as punter, Barossa as long snapper, and then Dedman as your returner. On defense, we have left to right, we have Burns and Green at the... Oh, wait, that's the second. I skipped the spot. Guy and Gurdry at the boundary defensive end spot. Wise and Ujic at the tackle. Mustafa Johnson at defensive tackle. And then Berglund and Archibald at defensive end. Their linebacker group is Beverett and Richards at weak side linebacker. Canton Arcu, Awe, and Gagnon linebacker. And then Sam linebacker is Murray, who's game time decision, and Hamlin. And now with secondary, we have Burns and Green, Sutton, Boschman and Sutherland, Kenny the third, and Hicks. So those are the two lineups. So now we're going to go to the news and notes. So this rivalry is dating back to the 1950s, 205 meetings since then. This marks the 206th all-time regular season meeting between the Hamilton Tigercats and the Montreal Alouettes, dating across 1950 to 1986 and from 1996 to the present date. Tigercats swept the 2025 series going 2-0, their first sweep of the Alouettes since 2017. The Alouettes also won the home opener over the Tigercats 30-27. Overall, the series is Montral 104. (94-7 ties). Tigercats' win last week was their first win that in a game that Bo Levi Mitchell since has not started. Taylor Powell was Calgary 22-15. The victory snapped a 2-game losing skid and puts them 3-3 in position, with just one win behind Montreal with a win in this game. Montreal started at 5-1. The Alouettes developed a recent trend of fast starts since 2024 has been at least 4-2 after 6 starts. 5-1 in 24, 4-2 in 25, and now 5-1 in 26. Combined over 3 years, they're 14-4, .778 winning percentage. Win for Montreal this week would trend along with 2024 lines when they had an amazing 10-1 start. Dynamic duo. The Alouettes have the top two receivers entering week 8, led by Tyson Philpott 807 and Tyler Sneed 583, combining for 1,390 yards in only 6 games. That represents 64% of the Alouettes' total in 2026. Travis Tice is coming off his best game of the season with 172 scrimmage yards in the win over Calgary, including a career-high 223 rushing yards and a touchdown on 19 carries. Alouettes' dual threat back scored a rushing touchdown in 4 consecutive games. Trey Ford. Trey Ford has rushed for 109 yards on 10 carries, including 5 rushes of 10-plus yards and 2 rushes of 20-plus. 7 were quarterback scrambles. It's the first time a 100-yard-plus receiving performance by a quarterback since September 4th, 2023, when Trey Ford rushed for 135 yards against Calgary on Labor Day. His win-loss record is now at 11-13 in his career, and he's 0-1 0-2 versus Montreal. Davis Alexander has thrown for 402 yards and 3 touchdowns in his win over Calgary, making it 6 consecutive games of 300-plus yards to open the season. It was Alexander's second of 400-plus, with both coming in 2026. With 2,181 yards in 6 games, Alexander's averaging 363.5 yards per game for a pace of 6,543. Doug Flutie holds the single-game record of 6,619. That was with BC in 91. Alexander's 300-plus. Alexander eclipsed 300 yards passing for a 6th consecutive game. Okay, now, which we just was in the last, that is 7th in a row dating back to 2025. The Alouettes starting quarterback is now throwing 300-plus in his 10 of his last 12 starts. The last Montreal quarterback to open the regular season. Okay. Alexandre Gagnon was held off the stat sheet for Week 7 with 136 career special teams tackles. He leads active players and is tied for 18th with Brian Crawford. His 93 special tackles with Montral are good for second in franchise history, tied with Daryl Townsend and one short of Chip Cox for all-time lead. 100th CFL game. Alouettes linebacker Trace Beverett is set for his 100th career CFL game. Kenny Lawler in every game this season, he's extended his consecutive streak to league's best among active players with 77 in a row. Last game without a catch was September 28th. Two amazing receiving starts for a season. Tyson Philpott has started fast in 2026, accumulating 807 receiving yards in just 6 games, on record for over 2,400 this season. The best 6-game start in CFL history was by Milt Stegall in 2002 at 810 yards. He continues his third pace last week with 66 yards, but was held to a season of 5 catches. So he's missed the record by 3 yards. New single rule impact aids Hamilton. In our CFL section above, the item on single cover-ups is most notable. That came last week when a missed field goal attempt through the end zone gave Hamilton a 21-23 win. Mark Lego ranks number 1 in Tigercat history with an 89.6% field goal mark, but in 2026 he hasn't had many opportunities. In 6 games, he's had 12 attempts. Last season, he took 56 attempts, making 52 of them 92.6%, second in the CFL. Jose Maltos applying a minimum of 125 career attempts, field goal attempts. He's taken over the all-time CFL lead field goal percentage. He is now 114 for 127 for amazing 89.8%. Mark number 1 ahead of Sean White, which is 88.9%. So that is the news and notes for today's, tomorrow's game. Do check out tomorrow's game, as we will be live streaming it. But I do appreciate everyone for stopping by, checking out the content. Very much appreciated. This is Rick from Hamilton Sports Central, and have yourself a great rest of your day.